Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a great rack. I have awarded 82 points. Quite a good rack. There could be an 8-letter bingo here. I can't see a 7. Quite a few floaters to consider. I've got the un prefix, but the Y not particularly helpful. It usually appears at the beginning and ending of a word. So I can't see any un words ending with Y. However, I will quickly look at the floaters. The R looks hopeful. I've got the Euro prefix. Sino-Shore plus an E. Can't see anything with the D. Now, 38 points for my opponent, a good response by him. He has opened up column 1. So I could play Envy. Is there something better? I've got Venue, but that doesn't get tripled. I've got Even, which I think is better. Yeah, Envy would have kept an E, which, although it's a good tile, when you've already got a vowel preponderance, it's not helpful to have an extra E, so I'm going with this. Pretty good. I must be close to a bingo here. I've got the OUS ending. Now through an L. Well, I was going to say orgulos, but it may be orgulus. I'll check that should an L come up. There's a floating N to consider. Can't see anything with that. And I'm thinking there isn't a bingo here. G and U actually not that great, and the double O. It's just that these are bingo-y tiles, which gave rise to my initial optimism. So how to sort the rack out? Well, certainly I'd like to play off the O and the U, and possibly the G as well. Org and Orugo are a couple of 5-letter plays which sort the rack out at the expense of burning the E. Still just looking at the D and the R to see if there's a bingo with them, and I can't see a bingo. Now it's me to go. My opponent's played Fey for 40. Yar takes an R in front. So I was going to say I could play Gru, but that's keeping double O. Not great. I don't want to burn the S with grouse. Orugo doesn't play in row F. Can't see a double in column 5. So a great start, but I've hit heavy weather. My opponent scored well, 40 and 38, so he's only trailing by 30 points, so he could catch me next turn. Just not sure what to do here. Well, what about playing Euro? I've got the Esper going on the end. This column 1, not particularly dangerous. 10 points, pretty wretched. Can I do any better? No, I think I will. Well, that's only 10 points. I think actually this would be better, just OU for 4. Well, again, that looks initially quite promising. Pierogies through an I. Can't see anything with the D. but it's a balanced rack, and I've got the P for score. Opponent changes. That's good. Can't see a double-double through YA. Now, could there be a 7 here? Well, I'm reluctant to overuse this check feature, but I'm just checking pierogies. Not good. Geosphere with an H. 15 minutes on my clock. I can't see anything with the D. So, I can play Grope. Keeping ES, quite good. 23 points, not great, but it's not giving too much away either. I've got the J for score. I've got Egypt on my rack. I've got 2 S's, so I can burn one of them to increase the score with the J. Just looking to see if I've got anything around OU, and I haven't. I did last go. We have the P for Alp. I can't see any 8s with this rack. Egypt does play in row I, but for not very much. I could play Jets in column 9 and Gropes. 28 points, not a massive score, but not bad either, and a decent rack leave. Now, do I have a play in column 8? Well, I do. I have Jess D for 42 points. Well, that's looking a little better. Keeping IS. Can't see any other great J spots. The O of Grope, not particularly useful because I've got nothing which goes in front of P, and nothing does go in front of Rhea. Although, were an S to be played after it, then a D would go in front. So 15 minutes on my clock, 16 on my opponent's. I can't see a play in column 8 which gets the J doubled and the word tripled. Now I do have Egypt in row E, making double E. Okay, nice play by my opponent, 29 points, and he stops me using column 8. I do still have Gestes in row C, burning both S's. G's doesn't get doubled. So I think Gestes for 46 points is the play. I can't get anywhere close to that with any alternative plays. Pretty horrible. Always a pain to see the W and the U together. But I've got a 70-point lead, which is quite good. The board fairly tight, not a lot of opportunities on it, although the floaters in Gestes are quite handy. This is quite a good board for bingos and not a great board for non-bingos. And I'm at the moment facing a non-bingo-y rack, still both blanks to come, and half the bag, half the tiles still in the bag. Just looking at the Z to see if there's a 5-letter play getting doubled. Well, there would be with the right tiles because Zuia would play there. And Zoea, I have neither. So where can I play my W? I think I'm going to struggle to play the W and the U. although wuss is good. Great, only 14 points for my opponent, so he's slowing down, which is handy. Through an A, I would have wall. Verl takes an S for future reference. So what about retaining the W? And playing off the U. The W looks like it can play in row B, but I'm not seeing a play. Well, what about E now? Keeping it LIU, dreadful. Well, dreadful, but what's the score? 23 points. Does E now take an S? I think it does. Yeah, so pretty dangerous, but a decent score. And I've not seen... Well, do I have to do that? I could just play woe, keeping lin U, and the N helps the U. Are there any alternative plays I haven't considered? I've got nothing which goes after OU, nothing which plays in column 3 that's any good. Well, I'm in the hands of the gods in terms of the pickup, but E now for 23. Fantastic. I draw the first blank, and the rest of the rack, not great, but it could have been worse. My rack leave of ILU was pretty grim. So this is at least balanced in terms of vowels and consonants. I think I would have unfilial through an A or an L, neither available at the moment. I've got the FUL prefix. And there are the floaters in awarded, in particular the R and the D. Can't see anything beginning with the R or the D. This rack doesn't look too promising in terms of bingos, but it's not so bad you can conclude immediately that there isn't one. Okay, I now have a floating G to consider, and has my opponent played that because he's got an S or a blank or an H for next go? The O not particularly helpful. I've got nothing apart from the blank, which goes after OU. So do I have anything with the G? What about figuline? I think that's good. Yes, it is. Fantastic. Does that play anywhere else? I would need a floating E. No, it doesn't. So let me get this down. Figuline for 76. And that's not great, but it's not disastrous either. It's bingo-y tiles, but I don't think there's a bingo here. I don't have any scoring tiles, but I should be able to leave a pretty good rack leave. I've got a 140-point lead, which is good, but the figuline play allows for a massive counterplay in row O. And my opponent is going to play there, I think, because if he doesn't, I certainly will, and he won't want me to do that. Okay, so I don't have an N for making chi. 31 points for my opponent. That could have been a lot worse. Now I do have a T and an E for playing after NE. So I can play Telial. for 30. Good score. Sorts the rack out. Although the rack could have been sorted out better because I did have the tiles for a decent 3 or 4 letter rack leave. But turning over tiles is good in terms of expediting the end of the game when I'm this far ahead. Now, is there really no bingo here? Well, the floaters in awarded no longer available. The W, nothing there, so I'm only looking at 7s, and I can't see a 7 with Telial plus an A. Pretty good. I have Amped Mans, which does play in rows I and G, and also in column 11, pluralising Canat. Telial does not take an S. Now I must remember that E now takes an S. Amped Mans not playing there, and not having any anagrams. All of my bingo lanes could be blocked, and they're not. Fantastic. So, Amped Mans for 87. I draw the second blank, and that's pretty good. I feel there is a bingo here, although UBGII not too promising. A few floaters in Amped Mans, T, M and A. Close to sub Imago. I've got the S for going after E now. I've got 9 minutes on my clock. I'm going to have a quick squiz for 7s. Close to Gambusia. Okay, new set of floaters to consider, but, well, is there any point looking for 7s? Has my opponent taken out column 15? Well, he has. Has he taken out all 7-letter lanes? In which case I need to be thinking about this rack in the context of an 8. So what are the floaters? M and A. And K, E, D. I think the K is extremely unlikely. E and D, M and A. 9 minutes on my clock. I've got the ing ending with BUSI. Just considering that before I run through the alphabets. I've got the bi prefix. I've got UN with the blank as an N. And I've got the IUS, OUS ending. I think I'm just going to run through the alphabet and see if anything jumps to mind. I don't feel particularly optimistic about this rack. Well, that's quite nice. Can't see anything there. That's the ing ending. That's the OUS ending. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything. How to sort the rack out. 8 tiles left. I can see them. Let me look at the vowel situation. 7 vowels out of 15, a balanced bag. So it'd be nice to get rid of B, I, and U. Not sure. I've got the sub prefix with GII. Can't see anything there. So 8 tiles left. I certainly want to get rid of the I. It would be nice to get rid of the U. The Q has gone. But pretty tricky getting rid of I and U. Not a disaster keeping 2 I's, especially when I've got the G for the for the ing ending, so maybe just a case of getting rid of B and U. Well, that looks tricky as well. 6 minutes on my clock. Well, I can do it. I can play rub for 11, and I think I will. I think this is an okay rack leave. There is the floating A and E, and even the D looks like it. In fact, all of the floaters go well with this rack leave. So I'm going with this. Okay, pretty good. I draw an E and I draw a consonant, so that was quite a good pickup. C and G don't go great together. But do I have a bingo? If I don't, playing off GI is going to leave a very strong 5-letter set. 37 points for my opponent. He's still 130 points behind, only 2 tiles in the bag. Even if he bingos, he's not going to win. Now, do I have a play down from the D? I've got the dis prefix, dysgenic. I don't think so. I'm not even going to check that. What about the M? I don't think de-icing takes an S. Might as well check. It does not. So I've got the M. 5 minutes on my clock. I've got the A, which looks promising. The K goes well with the C, but not in that position. And the E doesn't look promising. 2 tiles left. So I do have time. I'm going to have a quick squiz through the alphabet. Well, before I do that, what about ing words? That would leave C-E-I-S. C-E-I-S. Not seeing anything. The by prefix. Without ing, CG and double I don't look great. I've got the digi prefix with CES, 4 minutes on my clock. Close to legacies. That's the ing ending. This looks like a decent 7-letter set. So D, close to regicides. Can't see anything with the M. I feel like I could easily be missing something here. It's not going to cost me the game, but it's always nice to see bingos and not to miss them. Can't see anything there. 3 minutes on my clock. So my opponent's got a pretty bingo-y set of tiles, so I only want to play off 1 tile. I think I'll play off just an I. Two minutes on my clock. Okay, I'll play off if for 5. Now, that is good. That is good. I've got sending and e-nows. There's 1 tile in the bag. My opponent could well have a bingo and scupper my bingo prospects, but I'm 140 points in the lead, so I am going to win this game. What else do I have apart from sending? I have dysgenic, which I'll just check. And this is going to score more. Yep, that's fine. So I have that in column 15. What about the M and the A? There are definitely plays through the A. I just can't see them. Possibly ceasings. Well, that doesn't fit. So I'm considering the A or the M. "11 minutes on my opponent's clock." So he's welcome to take his time. Wow, look at that. Fantastic. Dysgenic not blocked. Dysgenic for 93. Plus a ton of points on my opponent's rack. Back in business. Final score, 284 to my opponent, 535 to me. A winning margin of quite a lot, 251 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. So it was me to go first, and I had a dream start with awarded. Opponent has vexatory through the E. Yes, he does. He doesn't spot that. He plays Vox, and this was a rack I struggled with. Envoy, pretty good. I played Yevon, keeping OSU for the same score. Envoy, a better play. Just. Opponent plays Faye. Great no missed bingo here. I5 Geo, Yagri and Do. Quite nice. Do rather. I play OU for 4 points. 14 fewer points. But I'm keeping GEORS rather than UORS. I kept GEORS. I kept Gores rather than Hours. Is that 14 points better? Not sure. Wow, look at this horror show for my opponent. He really was struggling. Fantastic. So he changed. I don't blame him. Did I miss something? I didn't. I played Grope. That looks fine. Opponent plays Kesvi, however you pronounce that. Now, I played Jestes for 46. I could have got 13 fewer points and played Ejects. I preferred Jestes because of the points. Nice rack for my opponent. No bingo. He plays Verl. And now, at this point, I'm 60 points ahead, but I've got a poor rack. And I reluctantly play Enau. Opponent's rack, he plays Brog. So he played Brog from this, keeping Ant. So he didn't have the S blank or H. Now, this was my rack. Anything other than Figuline? No, there wasn't. So delighted to have spotted that. Opponent plays Kanat. And I have Telial for 30. Opponent's rack. He plays Thio. And I have Amped Mans for 87, which totally secured the win. It gave me a 200-point lead. Opponent's rack. He's got Might. Now, did I miss something here? No, I didn't. Fantastic. What did I do? I played Rub, and I still like that. I think given the size of my lead, it's and the board and the bingoiness of my rack leave after Rub, it is worthwhile fishing for a bingo. Opponent plays Arrows. Did I miss something here? And I didn't. Fantastic. This is where I play off just the eye. Again, fishing. Opponent's rack, he doesn't have a bingo. He plays Meow, and that is perfection on a stick, because it just increases my score for Dysgenic to 93, and a ton of other bingos there, and these are the bingos through the A: creasing, encasing, and Grecians. But in any event, Dysgenic was the play, and that was enough to secure a 250 point win and a winning score of over 500 points. So absolutely cracking game. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.